Hello and welcome, mourners. You are listening to the Dirge of Mourning's Coffin Carrier. I am your host, Andrew A. Graves, alongside Terabella Thorne. In this episode, we'll be looking at an international band from both the US and Brazil, called Solemn Echoes, with their song Into the Depths of Sorrow, from their 2021 album Into the Depths of Sorrow. Oh, oh fuck. Oh yes. Oh yes. That that was just fantastic. Oh, I love that.
I'm just not even going to say anything. Just you bask in your thing over there, and I'll chime in when we want to talk.
Oh, probably come back in an hour. I'm just gonna bask in every element of that because I don't know about you, but I was able to just envision, I should say, this cool little story in my head while listening to that.
Yeah, I kind of did that too. So what struck me was the simplicity of the way it was laid out. That's what struck me. We just have a nice music going on and a nice poem going on. And I'm going to call it a poem because, as far as I'm concerned, it's being delivered as prose, not sung.
Right. So
it makes for an interesting aspect here.
It does, but it also goes back to the thing that we've constantly said about this musical style, that Funeral Doom and its lyrics are basically poetry.
Yes, I totally agree with that. This is a perfect example to show anyone who's listening that that's the truth.
Right?
You have, like I said, you just have this music and then you have these words. But the words, oh, what are they?
Oh, so
powerful.
They are heavy, they are deep, like you said, powerful, and if you look at them correctly, they're actually kind of soul crushing. And I think that helps with the delivery of the vocal style that he chose, which was spoken word almost with a sort of deathy growl that was like in agony.
Oh, the very first time the death growl comes in, I think punctuates the feeling perfectly. You can actually envision, for some reason I see a person lamenting and all of a sudden just basically crying, and that's where the death growl is. It's like a despair.
Right. So you have the same sort of envision that I more or less have, where every time the death growl is introduced, it's that exclamation point to what he is saying. The accompanying music is just so beautifully written.
It is, yes. It's almost, it's kind of funny. You almost don't even notice it because you're just entranced by the words, but it upholds the whole thing and it stays there for the whole thing. It's perfect in its simplicity.
Yes, there's a nice melody with the piano being played throughout the song. The main guitar riff isn't overbearing, but it's not too low down either. It's at that perfect volume of where you would want it. There's a nice little hint of a bass guitar in there every now and then that picks up. The drum beat just has that perfect steady pace.
It's very steady, yeah.
Like
Mhm.
there's nothing too complex about it,
Mhm.
but that's why it's beautifully done in its
Right.
simplicity.
Right.
And that's what I enjoyed about this. This is what I would almost close to like easy listening funeral doom.
Yeah. I agree. Can I say what my favorite parts are?
Well, let's get on to the lyrics then.
As far as the lyrics go, I liked it when they said, I feel broken down, my body aches. Reason I like it. When a person is depressed or sad, not only is it in your mind, but it's in your body.
Right.
So your body is feeling that. And then my heart bleeds. So something very close to the person, someone very close to the person, something has occurred, death, tragedy, whatever, where your heart, which is basically the center of you,
Yes.
bleeds. So
It,
something's broken down.
right. It's that very
Your
poetic,
heart is bleeding.
romanticism of we say that our heart is almost like our soul and stuff like that. We use these types
And
of metaphors to express like a physical reaction that does actually happen. I don't know if anyone's ever had their actual heart broken. It
I have. Have
it
you?
fucking hurts.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a
You do
different
feel that
feeling.
inside.
It's different than a mind. It's different than, I don't know how to explain it. It's different than just like when you're in high
There
school.
is no other pain that you
But
can compare it to,
it's something very, very strong.
right?
And
You feel that there's nothing. You feel cold inside. That there's an emptiness about you. I guess that the best way I could describe it is from my favorite line here, or paragraph, I should say. The darkness covers me with all its consuming power. It slowly takes my soul, pulling me in deeper. That, I think, describes that feeling perfectly. That this sense of sorrow, grief, pain, all of those descriptive terms are rolled into this darkness. Because there is
it,
almost that sense when you have like your heart broken
yeah.
and it bleeds for
Yeah.
this tragedy that you've like witnessed.
Okay. So at first, when I first started with the first few lines, I'm like, what the heck is this? But because of the extremely powerful words that describe this sense of loss so well,
Mm-hmm.
it pulls you in. And I think I think that might be the key right there. This song, in its simplicity, pulls you in.
Yes. There's something about it that you think it's going to be benign, but then it just hooks you in and slowly drags you back. And you almost want to go back and listen to it again to make sure that you actually experienced what you did.
I don't really want to experience it a lot because
It's a heavy feeling.
It is. It's a heavy concept. When at the end, a broken mind, a broken soul, no energy to scream, no energy to cry. In other words, you're like a lump, man. You're nothing. It's all gone. You might be dead. You're like totally out of it. I'm falling deeper into the depths of sorrow. What a beautiful line, as a matter of fact.
Oh, the writing in this is just simply beautiful. It truly is.
This is really, it really is a very, very lovely little song.
It really is. It generally is, and I would definitely encourage our listeners to go out and seek this album and listen to it from start to finish.
Yeah.
And just pure funeral doom atmosphere that comes from this, the over sense of wonder that comes from the lyrical attributes here, and I guess there's only one other thing I could say here.
What's that?
We're gonna go straight into scoring.
I know.
So I'm gonna give it an absolute solid 9.5.
I was thinking the same. You read my mind. Well, that happened. Oh, that never has happened before, right?
Oh, it has, but that's besides the point. What I was gonna say was the reason I'm gonna give it that score is simply due to the fact that I will be revisiting this song on a much later date when I can sit down and enjoy the entire album to myself and really embark on that journey I think that it needs to be. But for a song that...
I mean, with something like this, though, you have to understand that it is a certain, it takes a certain mindset to want to do that. If you are busy, things are bothering you in your day, your kids or grandkids or whatever are bothering you, this would not be the time to do this.
No,
this
you need to
is a meditative, contemplative moment.
Absolutely. You need to be almost isolated from the day-to-day like hustle and bustle.
Now, this is another aspect that I love of funeral doom, is because that's what it does.
Oh yeah, you could... this is another, like we're saying, another reason why it's just so fucking awesome.
I know.
You can
let's just everybody come on, listen to funeral doom. It'll be a much better planet.
Oh, it would. My kind of world. But what I'm trying to get at here is this idea of when you are able to just sit back and enjoy an album, or even just this particular song, for example, in and of itself, you are taken on an absolute wonderful journey of human experience and emotion. They don't sugarcoat any of it. They're not trying to, hide behind some other types of metaphors or, misconstrued ideas. This is straightforward.
It is very straightforward, yes.
Like, there's no sense of, oh, we're pulling punches here. This is how it is. When you go through, a tragedy or a loss or anything within that realm of sorrow. So again, you could reflect on these kind of things and, have an experience that I don't think you get in any other type of music style. I just don't. This is why funeral doom to me is the best musical genre out there. And that's why I'm giving it a solid 9.5.
Wonderful. Me too.
Well, that's going to do it from us here, mourners, at Coffin Carrier. Until next time, remember, every day is a funeral.